Hey, Andrew.
Yes, Ryan.
Did you hear about the NX announcement?
What, new rumor or something?
No, they showed off the console. It's called the Nintendo Switch. It looks pretty cool.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, there's a trailer. It shows you the thing. You can look at it. You can see it for yourself. It's a thing.
No, it exists. It's just a new, dude. It's like a new rumor.
It's real.
Somebody just made it in Photoshop or whatever. I'm sure.
It's real. It's real. I've seen it. It's real.
No.
It's real. I've seen it.
I do not believe you.
It's real. Welcome back to the explosion of Andrew's respiratory system. It is September 21st, 2016. It's time to talk about video games and listen to Andrew die.
Yay. It's not that bad right now.
I heard you were coughing up blood earlier.
I was, yes.
Yes.
In this weekly podcast, we talk about video games, and I'd like to announce our proud sponsor for this week, Cars. Fuck them.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah.
So it's kind of amazing.
Specifically old cars.
Specifically our cars.
Yes. And my truck.
Yeah.
Cars and trucks. Fuck them both. And fuck motorcycles, too.
Yeah. Just like fuck vehicles. Fuck
vehicles. Yeah. Yeah.
So I think we talked about it a little bit last week, but your car started to fail and shit, and or your truck, I mean, that's fun stress.
Yes.
And then last Friday, I was driving home from work, and I'm super excited. I'm off work. It's the weekend. I just want to go home. And I'm thinking to myself as I start my car up, I gotta get the oil changed this weekend. I should do that. Also, I need to register for new tabs. So I gotta do that when I get home first thing. And I leave our parking lot, and I get into the left lane, and I drive down the left lane, going the speed limit, and all of a sudden the bitch just flies out of a parking lot and sideswipes me. Now my car can't make right turns.
Wait, I thought you said it was drivable. Oh no, wait, they still need to fix it.
It's drivable, as in it runs. Yeah, it runs and it can move forward. It's just when I try and make hard right turns, the tire scrapes against the wheel. So it's currently in the shop. It is not totaled, thank God.
Did they give you an estimate?
Well, I have a $1,000 deductible, but if it's her fault, which it's her fault, but as long as the insurance company say it's her fault, I don't have to pay the deductible.
Well, I know, but did they say how much damage there is? 'Cause it sounds like a lot of damage.
He said, if I remember right, the adjuster said it was under $4,000 at the moment.
Okay, so it was about as much as my truck was going to cost me for a new transmission.
Yeah. So thankfully, mine's covered by insurance, but still, it's just like... And it doesn't sound like any of the support columns are damaged, because if those get damaged at that point, my car probably will be totaled.
How many miles are on your car?
13,000. No, 135,000.
135,000 for Honda Civic. Oh, you might want to be thinking about a new car pretty soon. Like a year
Honda
or two.
Civic? Fuck no. Honda Civic can go a year or two. Yeah, I was planning on that. Honda Civic can go up to 200,000 miles or so, just fine.
Well,
we were planning on getting a new car for me in 5 years, so.
Well, if it lasts a long, yeah, I mean.
It should last that long. It has no problems or anything.
I was planning to just get the transmission in my truck fixed, and then I had a conversation with my dad about it, and he really just told me, aren't you kind of tired of having to go to the shop every 3-4 times a year and paying all this? Maybe you should just make a down payment on a new car instead of paying to fix that thing. And I was like, okay, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to reward myself. I'm going to move up in life. I'm going to get my first brand new car. So I went to the Ford dealership, got a Ford Focus 2016, and it's beautiful, and I love it.
It's kind of funny because that's what my girlfriend did before we met, right before we met. She had the exact same conversation with her dad, and he told her to do the same thing, and she did the exact same thing. Went out and treated herself with her first brand new car, so she was really happy with it. I
was really on the fence, mainly because I was worried about going to a dealer and getting fucked over. But I actually got the car 50% of its MSRP because it was listed for $21,000. I got it for $12 by negotiating down. Yes, I was really proud of myself. I thought I was going to get fucked up the ass, but the thing is, the guys at the dealership were incredibly lazy and just seemed like they just wanted to get the transaction over with and make me happy and send me on my way. So it was like,
$12,000 for a brand new car?
Yes.
How much of a down payment did you put on it?
Zero.
Zero down? Wow.
Zero down. $264 a month, and then I got insurance on that, bumper to bumper, so $300 total a month.
That's really good.
I know. I was
for a new car.
Everything turned out so great for me. I'm glad my transmission started to fail, and now I'm just waiting for the tow truck to come and take that thing away, even though it's actually still a pretty good truck, and I feel bad, but Yesterday, I took it up to a dealer in Everett. Sorry for anyone caring about video games. I'm talking about cars. I went all the way up to Everett. A used car dealership told me they would look at the truck and give me an estimate and how much they'd pay for it. And at first, when the guy looked at it, he said, "Oh, about 500. How much would you like for it?" I'm like, I was hoping like 800. Then I go into the office after he test drives it, comes back and offers me 150.
No.
And I was like, are you fucking serious? And he's like, well, yeah, I mean, there's a check engine light on there. And I thought he knew the transmission was failing because I wrote that on the form that Auto Trader sent to them. But I just mentioned to him, like, oh, so is it just because of the failing transmission? That's why it's so cheap. And he's like, yeah. 1 second. And he went to the other room with some other guy on a computer. He came back. He's like, we can't buy the truck from you. He didn't even know the transmission was failing. He still only wanted to pay me 150 for it. So I left and called a junk service, and they're going to give me like 270. So that's better. But yeah,
wow.
that was kind of
your poor truck.
Yeah, the thing is, it's still good. It's just the transmission. It's got new tires, new alternator. Still has air conditioning, for God's sakes. Like, how many? God.
I'm sure he's gonna get a truck.
I wanted a compact because I still like having mileage. I like having like the truck for convenience, but it's for commutes. Ford doesn't. They're not releasing the Ranger in the U.S. right now, and even if they did, I wouldn't get one because I think they're fucking hideous. I think the Chevy Colorado, I don't really like that either. But I didn't want an F-150. I didn't want some like massive fucking gas guzzler. So
like,
there wasn't.
I'm driving right now.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, the Chevy fucking whatever the fuck that behemoth's called.
Yeah. So I was like, you know what? All I do is go to work every day. I'm just getting a sedan, saving myself the money, and fuck it.
The truck I'm driving right now is literally so large that I can't park in every single parking lot. Like if the spots are too narrow, I barely fit in the spots at work, and the spots at work are generous in size.
I actually never really got used to backing my truck into spots. My first truck was tiny, so that was easy, but the thing I'm trying to readjust to about cars is I just can't. My truck, all I had to do was just look behind me to see everything behind me. I had a really good field of view, but now I actually have to use my mirrors and stuff. The thing that's nice about my new car is they actually got a rear view camera where when I go into reverse, it just shows me what's directly behind my car. It even has little lines that guide me into my parking space, so it's fucking awesome.
That's the one I say about the truck I'm driving. It does have that. So that's like the only thing it's got going for it. But the thing is, I kind of wish it had that for going forward too when I'm trying to park, because I cannot fucking see anything around me when I try to park that thing.
Yes.
I literally feel like I'm driving a delivery truck.
All the modern conveniences of newer cars are fucking amazing. I love them. It's just I try not to think about the fact that I'm slowly sawing away control of things to computers.
You can also fucking sync up your phone.
I did that.
Goddamn,
yeah,
and then you could play MP3s.
I do that every day. Yeah. And
it's
I don't
amazing.
even once I assigned it, I don't even have to do anything. I just sit in the car and it just instantly starts playing whatever podcast I was listening to last time. And I was like, oh my fucking God. This is so awesome. Also, the human race is fucked.
See, my car that I'm paying to have repaired does not have a CD player, does not have air conditioning. It has nothing. It has 4 wheels and power steering. And that's it. That's what I drive.
That's all you need. But, I realize
it's a fucking standard transmission too, so.
Cars are like smartphones. Once you upgrade, there's no going back.
Yeah.
I've made that leap, and hopefully it's for the better. We'll see how I feel about it when my wallet starts dying in about 2 months. At least my problem solved. Though it sounds like you're in limbo right now. But you'll be at my level someday with a new car, shiny new car. You'll be scared of wrecking it everywhere you go. You won't even want to drive it because it's so nice. I stroked it. I rubbed my face against the paint job the first day I had it because it was so smooth. It had never been driven before I drove it off the lot. Life has its moments.
Yeah, every now and then.
Speaking of life, there's a big component of life called video games. And this podcast is usually about that. Usually. Okay, not really, but half the time.
Some of the time.
I played a video game last weekend. I played the beta to a video game last weekend called Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. I've spoken about my history with the series and how I feel about it, whereas I think the original Modern Warfare was a great experience, both single and multiplayer. And then even though the single player in the Call of Duty games over the years has continued to be kind of this fun little roller coaster ride that is sometimes great, sometimes terrible, the multiplayer has just been on steady decline ever since that first Modern Warfare game. And the 2 following it, I thought were serviceable, and then pretty much Black Ops, and then everything after that, it just became completely fucking generic and the same shit every year, reskinned. It just felt like you're playing inside a paintball arena. It has nothing to do with actual warfare. despite what fans think. And then Advanced Warfare introduced all these new movement mechanics, which got me interested and wanted to try it again. And I thought they were pretty cool. And I still thought a lot of things surrounding the game made it not appealing, and I didn't want to stick with it. Black Ops 3, hated it the first day I played it. But then since a friend of mine lended it to me and I was just sitting around, I played more of it. And I ended up really liking the movement system in that game. In my opinion, it made Call of Duty's competitive multiplayer a lot more interesting. There was a little more work to actually killing your opponents than just standing in a doorway and waiting for them to come around the corner. As in, you could actually jetpack up and around people and try to evade them. And there was like actual mind games to it. Made it very interesting. But in Black Ops 3, I just hated all the designs in terms of just, it wasn't the fact it was sci-fi. I just hated the cyberpunk, the character models, basically the attitudes, and just all the esports shittery that they shoved into it. And so that's kind of why I was interested in Infinite Warfare, because it looked like, you know, it's a futuristic Call of Duty. It's got the same parkour movement things I like, but it also has more of like a perfect dark look to it. And I'm sure there's still going to be tons of stupid skins and just annoying crap and like dance animations and stuff. But at least initially, it'll be free from all that. And I thought this time around, I think I'll give Call of Duty another ride. So the beta was last Friday. Basically, Infinite Warfare just plays like a mod to Black Ops 3, but like twice as fast.
Is that like good, bad?
Good. I liked it, but the thing is, Call of Duty is the McDonald's of video games.
Right.
And whether most people want to admit it or not, they all like McDonald's every now and then. It'll make you sick if you eat it too much. You don't always want it. Everyone likes to shit talk it. Everyone tells you it's bad for you. But the bottom line is everybody also eats there on occasion, and they know it. And no one wants to admit that it's actually a good thing to have. Point is, to me, Call of Duty has just been a junk food series. It's something that I just play when nothing else sounds good. You sit down, it's got a low skill floor and not a very high skill ceiling either. It always feels like you have a fighting chance unless the other team is one big party and they're all working together, which doesn't happen too often, but it does happen. Other than that, it's like basically you're almost playing a slot machine. It just feels like you're in control of the game. The majority of Call of Duty fans don't like the movement systems. I do, because for the most part, I just run and gun. I move around a lot. I like to play it in a very exciting manner. To me, I don't like to camp and be, in quotes, tactical, because there are games like Counter-Strike where I want to play a shooter that involves tactics, and Call of Duty was never that great at that, despite idiots thinking otherwise. So Infinite Warfare, I think, is just very good at that. It controls like Black Ops 3, the same sort of movement system, the same wall running and stuff. It's just a lot faster. The bullets kill a lot faster. I will say the biggest grief I have with Call of Duty's multiplayer is still existent in this game, which is that the maps, they basically just designed them to be as competitively balanced as possible and then just put a theme all over the textures and stuff. So even though the visual design and all the maps I've seen in this game are actually pretty cool, they're all on like different planets or space stations and really cool things like that. 2 of the 4 maps in the beta were just a bunch of corridors, and they felt kind of soulless. The other 2 were okay. The HUD was kind of hard to see at first, as in like the mini map, which is kind of critical to winning. The sniper rifles were completely fucking overpowered. Infinity Ward specifically said how they weren't going to make quick scoping easy in this game, but it was. There were people running around just sniping left and right. They're going to fix that, apparently. The class systems from Black Ops 3 are back. I didn't particularly like them in Black Ops 3, and the fact it seemed like they made them way more powerful in this game, as in one of the abilities is you just pull out this gun that has this really wide firing range, so you could basically just open fire into a room and just kill everybody in the room with it, which was pretty fucking fun once I actually used it and killed people with it, but getting killed by it, not that much fun.
Yeah, that sounds like a bullshit.
Yeah, it is bullshit until you do it yourself and you go, well, it is Call of Duty, so whatever. When you play as a robot class, there's an ability that turns you into like a puppy dog basically, and you just run on all fours super fast and you just claw people to death.
Okay.
I found out that was actually my favorite ability, because I just fucking sprint everywhere, just killing everybody in sight and just like running around corners, and they have like no chance to stop me, and I just murder the fuck out of them. Like you basically just disintegrate them, and it's amazing. Probably the biggest beef I initially had with Infinite Warfare is that there's a lack of a mute all button, but I ended up being okay with that after streamer after streamer ended up being partied with me. And they got absolutely fucking pulverized by everybody else and started throwing a tantrum. And it happened like 3 or 4 times.
Nice.
For some reason, they're always in public chat. They never go into private chat to just talk to their stream. They always have to let everybody in the server know that they're talking to the internet and that they're a big deal. And the first guy who did that, you know, it started off with, "Welcome back, everybody. I'm streaming the new Infinite Warfare beta, something, 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 something." 2 minutes into the match, he started complaining about, "Oh, that's so unfair. This is so stupid. I hate this. This is crap. This game is garbage." And then there were like 2 YouTubers and various matches after that did the same thing. They just threw absolute fucking tantrums. I didn't have my mic set up, but I wanted to get on and be like, "Hey, what's your channel?" And then I'd go there and be like, "Hey, I was the guy who asked what your channel was. You're a fucking annoying piece of shit. You suck at this game." I thought I was bad at this. And, you know, what I was saying about Black Ops 3 about how the movement system actually added kind of a skill element to it. I got my fucking shit pushed in when I first started playing the game. I got better, but I was just kind of amazed, and I think it's evident of that. There's always like a 2-day learning period with the Call of Duty game when you're just learning all the classes and all that stupid shit. You just kind of absorb everything you can do, and then after about 2 days, you learn like what works for you and what are the most effective strategies. You kind of get thrashed around by everyone else who already knows what they're doing, and I kind of think maybe that's why people hate the movement system, because they don't instantly understand everything, and that the learning curve goes from like a couple hours to 2 whole days, and most Call of Duty players don't want to wait that long to know what they're doing. So it's just a theory. There's been 4 futures to Call of Duties all consecutively in the last 4 years now. 3 of them were cyberpunk, near future. One of them was like post-apocalyptic future, which was Ghosts. This one is the first one that's like actually in space and actually feels like science fiction the way I like it. Not that I don't like cyberpunk. I just thought Call of Duty did cyberpunk really fucking poorly. But this is the first science fiction Call of Duty that actually feels right to me.
Did it have vehicles?
No. They tried doing that in World at War and everyone hated it. Surprise.
Huh.
And they hated it because this might be shocking to you, but usually when you charge a tank with a gun, the tank tends to kill you.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, you know, and people didn't like the fact that there were tanks on the map that they couldn't just shoot and kill. So it was terrible and needed to be pulled. And like I said, Call of Duty to me is junk food. So anyone who's expecting like actual balance and competitive nature, that's how Modern Warfare 3 happened. And Modern Warfare 3 was my least favorite in the series and by far the most boring. And I know there are tons of 13-year-olds who will swear by it and say that it was like one of the best, but they're all stupid. And just for the record, I know I'm stupid too. I wouldn't be enjoying this game at all if I wasn't stupid. I'm just a lot more self-aware about being stupid and able to enjoy stupid things. Unlike most other stupid people who don't realize they're stupid. I mentioned this before, how like the problem with all loadout-based shooters like Call of Duty is that there will always be 2 or 3 guns that everybody uses once they realize that they're the most efficient in most wide ranges of use. That's persisted in this game as well. For the assault rifles, SMGs, shotguns, LMGs, sniper rifles, they copied and pasted the exact style of each gun from Black Ops 3 and basically just reskinned them and titled them differently. But I noticed the order in which you unlock them, they all did the exact same as Black Ops 3. With that said, the guns in Infinite Warfare are actually pretty cool. It's the first science fiction Call of Duty where the guns actually feel like science fiction. There's an assault rifle that can detach into 2 dual-wieldable pistols for close range. That kind of gave me a boner. There's an SMG that you can extend and it turns into an assault rifle. Just things like that. It's kind of cool. Like secondary fire modes. I haven't seen that since like Time Splitters. The maps in Infinite Warfare are wider, more horizontal than Black Ops 3 and Advanced Warfare, which were very vertical to make use of the jetpacking. They knew people hated the jetpacking and they wanted to kind of please everybody. The game still involved wall running and speedy movement and jetpacking, but not everyone's constantly doing it. You still run around a lot. And all that said, it's more Call of Duty. There's minor differences, small changes of refinement. I like the parkour. Everyone else seems to hate it. I would not be playing it if it was not for that parkour. I think Activision really fucked up by marketing to stupid people like me instead of stupid people who want the same exact game resold to them 10 times in a row. But instead, they decided to make a stupid game for stupid people like me. And there's not as many people like me to go around, so they're going to have to bite that bullet. I'm looking forward to the full game. I'm looking forward to Modern Warfare Remastered. I think
so you are going to get the full game.
Yeah. Like I said, Modern Warfare Remastered on its own, I think I realized I actually really want to play that again with an actual audience and kill kids who have never played it before. I'm sorry to use the word kids. I'm just saying, literally saying that in a sense, kids who think Modern Warfare was like this holy grail game that they've never played before, but is objectively better than all the other Call of Duties. What they're going to find out is that there were perks like Martyrdom and Last Stand, and Call of Duty 4 actually had some huge imbalances that drove me and everybody else who played it in its day crazy. Call of Duty has always had imbalances. It always had chaos. Call of Duty has always been more fun the more chaotic it gets. And the moment they started trying to make it balanced after Modern Warfare 2, is where it got really boring and I lost interest. But the parkour and the movement kind of brought me back into it. So, like I said, I think Infinite Warfare is going to just be a good console shooter I play when I don't want to play Unreal Tournament or Squad or something that actually takes effort and dedication and practice. That's what Call of Duty is. And Call of Duty is good for that. It doesn't need to be any more than that. Yeah.
So did any of the space station levels have any weird space physics at all, like no grav?
No, they don't. Of course, when you kill people, they just kind of drift. Like at best, you're basically wearing like gravity suits, but yeah. And then sometimes when the game over screen is playing, you'll just see your opponent's dead bodies just flying off into space out like the vents and stuff. Last week was the first beta. It was exclusive to PlayStation. This weekend, they're doing another beta on PlayStation and the beta on Xbox, and they're bringing the remake of the map Terminal from Modern Warfare 2, which was an awesome map. And I'm going to be replaying the beta again just to see that map. I noticed, looking at the trailer for this second beta, it had an overwhelming amount of upvotes and likes. I think it's because Battlefield 1 came out, and all the people who would be there to shit on it are playing Battlefield. So it confirmed my theory that everyone who cares about Call of Duty are actually Battlefield fans. Everyone else just picks up Call of Duty and just plays it, but they don't really care about like arguing with people about it because it's just fucking Call of Duty. I guess that's it. It's the McDonald's of games. One of the comments I was reading on the trailer was this guy who like wrote multiple paragraphs about, guys, this stupid fucking parkour fast movement shit is just so cartoonish and dumb and shallow. Just imagine if Call of Duty was super realistic and you had like your teammates lining up behind a wall, calling in an airstrike, waiting for the airstrike to bombard the other team, and you actually had to be really patient. And I responded to him, said, do you realize there's a game on Steam called Squad? And then like a couple of minutes later, he responded to me and then said, oh, I've never heard of this. That looks really awesome. Thanks for telling me about it.
Wow.
So for everyone who's upset about Call of Duty, just tell them that there's a game called Squad on Steam. And if you can get a PC, there's your game. You're probably going to hate it because everyone who thinks they want realism, they don't actually want realism. They want to feel like the game is realistic, but they actually like to be handheld.
They don't realize that realism, like you have in Squad, makes Squad less of a first-person shooter and more of a very team-focused exercise. I'm not saying it's not a first-person shooter because you still need to be able to pilot vehicles and shoot your gun. But first and foremost, it is a team exercise.
Yeah, that's how I would have used to describe Battlefield until Battlefield 3 came out and marketed to Call of Duty's audience. And then Battlefield just became steal the vehicles and run off on your teammates and go find a corner and snipe in it. I do have a friend, I think, who bought it on PC. I'm not going to get Battlefield 1 unless he talks me into it. I will not play Battlefield 1 unless I have people to play it with. Then it might be fun. But my point is Battlefield used to be fun when you were playing it by yourself because other players anonymously would still do their roles, but that doesn't seem to be the case anymore. And that's why I've kind of gone back to Call of Duty. So I'm like, you know what? There's all these team-focused games out now where everyone gets really fucking pissed off about everything. I might as well play a game where everyone's going to get pissed off, but I don't have to talk to them. And that's Call of Duty. And then there's Unreal Tournament as of now. But that's kind of my thing. I like shooters where I don't need to work as a team because I just can't stand other people unless they're my friends. But I don't have any friends that don't play H1Z1 or Final Fantasy 14. If only I had a friend who didn't only play one game and also owned a PS4 and could play Call of Duty with me. That would be really fun.
What? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. I was playing Final Fantasy 14.
Nothing. I was talking about other people, I guess. I'm alone. Anyway, yeah, that's it. I said Call of Duty Infinite Warfare is fun. So if anyone was listening to this, our downvote ranking would be in like negative levels, but I don't care.
Yay.
Anything fun in 14 you want to talk about?
I've been killing Sophia a lot.
Who's Sophia?
She's the new primal that they, because every patch they have.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
All my healers are almost 60. All my tanks are 60. The fucking expansion that they just announced comes out. I'm just trying to get all my classes to 60. I talked about the expansion, but like all they did was show a trailer for the expansion, and the trailer looks fucking cool.
Okay, but
it's just a teaser trailer. Like that's all that's known about the expansion.
When does it come out? November?
No, summer, early summer.
Oh shit! I thought it always comes out in like November.
No, the Heaven's Word came out in June, so this one I think will be a little bit.
But that big convention, don't they always have like the new expansion that they're showing off at it, or?
That's where they tease it. That's where that the big convention is when they show the teaser trailer, and then they'll talk about it a little bit. Like they showed the teaser trailer, and the teaser trailer honestly is just it shows the God, how should I phrase him? He's like the box art character. He's the quote unquote main character. He's your character that they use for all like the teaser videos and stuff. People lovingly call him the Derplander.
Okay.
He's changed his job to monk, and it just shows him like meditating, and then it shows this other monk in red clothing, and they start like doing fucking like crouching tiger, hidden dragon combat, and it looks really good. And then it shows some of the surrounding area, and they show some like cannons being prepared for war and shit, because the idea behind the expansion is we're going into this land called Alamigo, and within 14 we've always heard of Alamigo, but we've never been to Alamigo, because right before we started playing Alamigo in 14 and 1.0, like 10 years prior, the Garleans, who are the evil people, came in and took over Alamigo. And then you had to deal with like the refugees and shit. So the expansion, Bloodsworn, is about going into Alamigo and getting it back. They release some art, like they showed who the big bad guy is going to be. He's like this fucking shogun looking character with a crazy ass like katana. Then they have like showed some other shit, teased some stuff. Everybody's talking about how the chick in the red is a dancer for the new job. So like job speculations through the roof. What?
Chicken dancer.
Chick in red.
Chicken
lady.
red. Chicken red. Oh, never mind. For some reason, I heard you say chicken dancer. It's okay. I'm just going crazy.
No, it's fine. Chicken dancer's right.
Your job is to train chickens to dance.
It's Chicken Dancer is a beloved Final Fantasy class that has been in every single game.
I believe it.
So, I mean, I'm excited for it. I'm mostly excited for the fact that they said they're going to, like, this is something that a lot of people weren't sure they're going to do. And I'm glad they're doing it. They announced that they're going to be dropping PlayStation 3 support. Dropping the PlayStation 3.
So it'll allow them to do something new?
Yeah. Not along with it, they're raising the minimum requirement specs for the PC. So that means they'll be able to do more things with the UI that they weren't able to do before. They're going to be increasing inventory space for all characters. They'll be able to have more, like, graphically interesting things on screen.
I didn't even know it was on PS3. I knew it was on PS4.
Oh yeah, it came out. It launched on 2.0 launched with a PS3 copy.
Mm. Well,
I'm happy to hear it. Because from my understanding, the PlayStation 3 already runs this game like trash. So,
well, you shouldn't concern yourself with that. What you need to concern yourself with is that. Did you hear that Bungie and Activision are dropping Destiny support for the 360 and the PS3?
Oh dang!
Oh my god!
Nobody cares.
Losing so much. I'm sure somebody does.
The difference here, and I think it's a key difference, is people still actually play Final Fantasy 14.
No, people still play Destiny. They just hate it. Everyone I know who plays Destiny doesn't like it. They just keep playing it because it's like they don't know what they have, like no direction to go anywhere else. They don't know what to do. They're scared and afraid and alone, so they just go back to Destiny over and over, and then meet up with other Destiny players and talk about how bad Destiny is.
Amazing.
Yeah. Kind of like Call of Duty. Except in Call of Duty, I get to kill streamers and YouTubers who scream and cry and bitch, and it feels good. I'm going to have to list Nate as like our correspondent news agent in the field because he actually brought a really cool thing up to me that I totally forgot. He was over last Friday as we were playing the Call of Duty beta together, and then I showed him the Resident Evil 7 demo, and then he started asking about PT because we keep talking about it in the podcast, and he didn't know what it was. And I'm guessing he must have done some research on it on his own, and he discovered there's this project in Unity called Pewdity. It is a top-to-bottom remake of PT in Unity, and it looks astonishingly similar to actual PT. It's only one guy making it, and you could definitely tell it's, you don't have fucking Hideo Kojima's entire team from Konami working on it, but for how much work this one guy has done to restore the game to make it free and downloadable on PC is incredible. And looking at the only details I could really say that look like they need a lot of work is the model of Lisa. She's the only thing that looks kind of cheap. But like the environmental designs look pretty close to how it looked on PS4. And you think if they could get that game looking so good on PS4 hardware, you would think an engine on PC could maybe pull out something pretty similar looking with enough time and effort. And PT was a pretty small, low-budget thing, so I'm just really impressed.
I'm just really worried. Cease and desist is a thing, so...
yeah, but it's called Pewdity. I think they're marketing it very carefully, and they're not going to charge money for it, so...
Okay.
I think you can download it right now and play it. It's a work in progress still. I don't know how much is done and how much they have to do, but that's cool because I thought we were going to have to wait years and years and years for somebody to dump PT off of a PS4 hard drive and figure out how to emulate it on PC. And now, like, fuck it, just remake the goddamn game.
Yeah, I mean, that's one way to do it.
And yeah, and though it may never be the real PT, at least, you know what? I'll take it. I just wonder I wonder how he's going to do the end cutscene, if it's going to still show a Norman Reedus lookalike walking away with Silent Hills or some joke or something like that.
It's just going to have a picture of like the Konami logo and it'll just like start shitting itself.
I hope it's something really funny like that. What if they make maybe it leads to a second, third, fourth, and fifth level where it's just another corridor, but it just gets a little more complicated. And then before you know it, it's like going into like some kid's playpen where you're just going into hallway after hallway. And
at that point, he'd be making his own game, though.
I know, but it would just get funny, and that's the point. Like the first stage is like the remake of PT, but then after that it becomes its own thing. Well, I think it'd be funny. Okay. With that said, the only other thing worth mentioning is that Red Dead Redemption 2 got announced by Rockstar.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I've never played the original, but I know it's hyped shit, and I wanted to play the original. GTA with horses.
Yeah, I've just been waiting for a PC port, but that's probably never going to happen.
No, it's never going to happen.
One could hope in anticipation for Redemption 2. They announced Redemption 2 for Xbox One and PS4. They didn't say anything about PC. But I would think because GTA 5 is on PC, you would think maybe they'd get with a program now on Redemption. But who's to say? It will probably still be a late release. But I'd still love to be able to play Redemption 1 on modern hardware. But
it'd be cool if they had an HD remake or something to go coincide,
Well, I mean, yeah. Rockstar, you're one of the few developer publishers who's still really fucking good and also really fucking huge. Please don't let that GTA 5 microtransaction money corrupt you. Please.
Too late.
Fine. Okay.
I'm sorry, Ryan.
Let's move on to the main course of the podcast.
We went to a quarter arcade that everything was 25 or 50 cents, and it was a lot of fun. It had mostly pinball machines, but a few old arcade machines, including one that I've seen everywhere. I've played a couple times before. But you and me sat down together, and we beat Hydro Thunder.
Fuck yeah.
And I have to say, the lore for that game is incredibly deep.
I was completely floored by it. Yeah.
Like, they lull you in, like, the first few areas, like, it's just, okay, it looks pretty, everything's nice. And then all of a sudden, it just gets batshit insane later on with, like, the ship graveyard and everything. And then when you finally unlock, I think it's New York, it's like you said, the truth is something happened, and, like, you're hydroplane racing in a post-apocalyptic Earth that's been flooded.
I unironically am serious when I said that floored me. I had no idea Hydro Thunder was like a grim, dark, post-apocalyptic, twisted metal style racing game where the human race has basically gone extinct and you're just racing in the remains of Earth. It just made the experience that much greater.
You're racing like Venom. Yeah, it honestly made the game go from like, oh, this is so cool that we're doing it, we're having fun, to like, this is kind of amazing. What's going on right now? That
final racetrack that you unlock was like in Egypt or something.
Yeah, it's Egypt.
And there are fucking like monsters and aliens everywhere.
Right, and it's like, I guess that's like the reveal for what destroyed Earth was like. I'm guessing what they're saying is that like long ago, Egyptians buried aliens underneath the pyramids, and then the aliens got free from the pyramids. And that's why like all the crazy shit was happening in Egypt. Well, that's why there was the giant aliens and like the space room and everything. Is because that's where the aliens came from, was Egypt. And they destroyed Earth. And I was just like, the game's fun. It took a little while getting used to the controls, and it helped that it cost like only 25 cents.
I always knew Hydro Thunder was a really fun arcade game, one of the best arcade games ever, but after actually playing it all the way through, it just gained a whole new reappreciation for it. Midway needs to call up EA, work out a deal, and have Hydro Thunder rebooted into a... It's happening. Andrew's dying. This is it. This is the end of the podcast. Right before we got to talk about the Nintendo Switch. But anyway,
I survived.
That would be
because I think like episode 1 we talked about the Nintendo NX.
It was like 3, but yeah, it was one of the very first things we talked about.
It would be like perfect, like real life is art for us to both die before we actually got to talk about the Switch.
The most appropriate time to end the podcast is when we have a big discussion about the NX. But
anyway, sorry.
Episode 1 was Battlefront. Episode 2 was Star Citizen. Episode 3 was NX. And then after that, it was Halo and then Fallout or something. But anyway.
Finish your thought about Hydro Thunder.
What I was saying is Midway needs to reboot Hydro Thunder as a gritty first-person shooter. Because that's what everybody does now.
No, it needs to be a co-op game.
Yes, first-person shooter co-op game, like the new Syndicate, yeah.
No. It's a co-op game.
Okay.
That's like rock and roll racing. One person drives the hydroplane. The other person's like on a 50 caliber turret in the back.
Okay.
And you gotta race against other people. So you have teams of 2, like Double Dash. And you can like swap places and shit.
Well, yeah, that would be cool. But I mean, we got to think about the market and realize the only things that sell now are first-person shooters. So
that's why you have the 50 caliber machine gun.
Yeah, but that actually sounds cool. We don't do cool things in the video game industry. We just destroy things and make them boring.
Okay. So what happened is every human died, and all that's left is hydroplanes, and the hydroplanes have gained sentience, and then you control a hydroplane in a first-person shooter.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm sold on that. I guess I'm wrong. You can't... First-person shooters were last gen, now it's MOBAs, so...
No, MOBAs was... Okay. First-person shooters was 2 generations ago. MOBAs were last generation. Now it's team-based first-person shooters.
I guess so.
Have you seen Paladins?
It's more like they blended MOBAs and shooters together to create that. Yes, I've seen Paladins.
It's barely anything like Overwatch at all. They're barely copying it. It's so...
Totally. Well, except that the female characters are more lewd. When I realized that, I thought, oh, it's free to play and the characters are sexier. Okay. That's enough. I'll play that instead of Overwatch if I ever do, but I don't want to play a game like that anyway. Yes, they are.
I need to look at the cast of Paladins now.
Yeah. There's a lot of porn of them, of course, and naturally,
Nice.
I learn about most things in the modern era, or what's trendy is based on how much porn of it there exists.
I think there's still more Overwatch porn.
Oh, what do you mean more? Of course, there's going to always be Overwatch. It's going to be around for a long time. I hope you don't...
Because of the porn.
Yeah. The question is, will it get fucked like Team Fortress 2 did? But whether you like it or not, like Team Fortress 2 is still around. It's like smaller than it used to be, but it's still relevant in pop culture and stuff.
Oh, wow. That, yeah, I guess they're a little bit more sexy.
They show a little more skin.
Yeah, but it's not like super provocative.
I know, but it was enough.
I thought you were talking about like they were going to be running around in bikini bottoms.
No, well, maybe I don't know what the actual game entails. I just know that there was enough lewdness that people started making porn of it. So,
okay, it's the internet. If you show a female to make porn of it, like she could be in a hijab, and then
if you are smart, you will design a game where people will want to make porn of it. That's just
because it's free marketing.
Yes, for God's sakes, you want to make money, at least make money and make everyone happy in the process.
So now I think we can move on to the real.
Okay.
It's actually happening.
Yes, after almost 55 episodes of wondering and theorizing and discussing rumors and bullshit and being frustrated over non-announcements, it finally happened. The Nintendo NX has been revealed. Andrew, would you like to do the honors of announcing what you know about it?
The Nintendo NX is a tablet that you can plug into your TV and play cartridges.
Yeah!
Okay, I did that kind of deadpan for the humor, but seriously though, so the latest round of rumors turned out to be mostly correct, where it is a tablet with attachable and detachable controller, or I should say, it's a tablet with detachable controllers on the side that you can use as a portable device. And then you can also plug it into your TV and play the games on a big screen. All that's still true. What wasn't known in the last set of rumors was the cradle that makes plugging it into your TV really fucking easy. The fact that you can like prop it up on a table as like the tablet part and then unplug the controllers and just like kind of, I thought that part was really cool, honestly, to be able to just like set it up on a table and then pop the controllers off and still have it running.
The controller popping off was in the design documents that leaked, right. But I'll let you finish what you're saying. I felt like the announcement was basically, okay, this thing is confirming everything we already knew about it, but we actually get to see what it looks like, and now we get to believe it.
And now we get to see like their commercial advertising too.
Yeah.
Marketing, I should say. My initial thoughts on it are pretty much exactly what my initial thoughts were on the rumor, where it's like, this is a cool idea. We just got to see how it's executed. It's an advertisement, so obviously they're making the games look as best as possible. But there's a couple of things that are really cool. One, there's no more DS3 Wii split. It's just this one Nintendo console. So if you want all first-party Nintendo games, you no longer need 2 devices. You now just need one. That's really cool. Second, all the originally handheld, like, you know, Pokemon, Fire Emblem games that you could only get on like a little tiny handheld screen will now have better graphics and can be on your big screen. That's really fucking cool too. So that's like 2 like my major takeaways from this. I'm still kind of sort of on the fence because, like I said, you gotta see how it looks in person. Gotta know about the battery life, which might be shitty.
Yeah, there are a lot of specifics that we're still gonna have to wait to have unveiled. Like what you were just saying about cartridges. People are wondering, are you gonna be able to play 3DS games on this?
Pretty awesome.
Yeah, and DS games for that matter, because in theory, it should be able to handle that. In regards to their marketing, like you said, I think Nintendo finally realized what you've been complaining about how
That
their
they marketed the Wii U like shit.
well, the fact that their audience are in their 20s.
Mm-hmm.
A, it's genius that this video they released was just a bunch of young adults because probably their biggest audience now, and B, kids will think that's cool because they look like the streamers they watch.
Ugh.
And C, it just filled me with optimism. Like, oh, okay, they're showing young adults playing this thing and nothing but young adults. So it seems like they understand their most core, hardcore, nostalgic audience. They know who to aim at first, who to direct this at first, and they know who's going to be the ambassador for this thing and convince other people to get into it and share it with their kids. So I'm pleased that Nintendo has, in theory, finally figured that out. Maybe they were just trying to make the thing look trendy and cool, but I'm still glad they did it that way instead of doing something really fucking weird.
The name is Switch and not Wii Switch or something dumb like that.
Oh, yeah. I really like the title. What about you?
Yeah, I like it because it's a simple everyday word, so it's easy to remember.
Yeah.
And Nintendo Switch sounds very different from Sony PlayStation, from Xbox One.
Saying this game will be coming out on the Switch. Sounds nice.
Exactly. Yes. It's a quick, simple word, easy to remember. But that little screen they showed where it has the simple icon, like you look at that symbol, like that's the Switch with like the sliding and clicking motion and that sound and that graphic, that snap click. That is really good marketing. And if you notice during that fucking 3.5-minute commercial, they showed that snap click like 5-8 times.
Like you're saying, they did the exact opposite this time, unlike what they did with the Wii U, where they made the marketing very clear what this thing is.
Yes.
You get the point of it. You get why it's cool. Personally, I'm still concerned about performance, obviously. They say that at least when it's docked, it'll be as powerful as a PS4. They've lied about that in regards to the Wii U before, but that's just something we'll have to see. I doubt for most games it'll even matter. But I think this might be the coolest idea Nintendo has had since the original DS. Maybe even cooler than that. This is the first device they've announced, shown off, where I say, that's really neat. That's going to make an impact. It's going to sell like fucking crazy. And I'll tell you why I know it's going to sell like crazy. It's because people are going to want to play Skyrim portably.
Yeah, I know. When I saw, I actually had to rewind during that because I thought it was just more Zelda. I'm like, wait, that I don't think that was Zelda. Oh my fucking god, that was Skyrim. That blew my mind. There
were some comments saying oh nice, Skyrim, a 5-year-old game, nice Nintendo. You're really, I'm like, do you understand how much of a cult surrounds Skyrim and the fact that people, even if it's that old of a game, people will get to go on the fucking bus and play Skyrim. I don't even like the Elder Scrolls, but as a portable game, I might be willing to give it another shot because it seems like the kind of game similar to No Man's Sky, how I could play that in bed with the remote feature on the PS4. Skyrim is a game I'd probably just sit back in bed and just chip away at a little bit every night. It's actually not something I want to sit in front of my TV and grind at. And right. I think that that's fucking awesome. And Nintendo was brilliant to get that game on their console. So from a marketing standpoint, I think that was great. They pretty much knocked everything out of the park with how they announced this thing. They showed Zelda on it. The most interesting thing to me is that they showed the new Mario platformer, which still hasn't been announced. It was just showed a couple clips of it. But me looking at it, it looks like Mario 3D World, except from completely behind the back of Mario. So I'm thinking maybe this is actually a fully fledged 3D platformer like Mario 64 again, like it's a sequel to Mario Galaxy 2. And if it's that, I'm getting this fucking thing because the 3D platformer Mario games I love, and I will get a new console for one.
Yeah, and the marketing was really smart in the games they showed because they had Zelda. Obviously, everybody's super hyped about Zelda, like you pointed out, Mario. But it also had one of their biggest newcomers with what the fuck, what are they called? The Inks. Thank you.
Splatoon.
Thank you, Splatoon game. As well as, obviously, Skyrim. And like you kind of hinted at, Skyrim is one of the biggest fucking games in recent history that's getting the HD remake.
And Nintendo's going to be the first to offer a portable version of it. Right. So that's probably their ace in the pocket, even more than Zelda.
Speaking of Skyrim, there's an official list of the Nintendo Switch partners, which has, these are all third-party devs. Capcom, EA, Bethesda, obviously, Activision, Square Enix, Atlas, Sega, Unity, CryEngine, Epic, Havoc, and From Software.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. From Software is one of the official Nintendo Switch partners.
Blood Part 2.
Oh, God.
Switch exclusive. It happened with Bayonetta.
I just jizzed all over myself. But seriously, there's even more games on that list. A lot of them are like people like WB Games.
Yeah, I know. I saw the list too.
A bunch of stuff. But I'm getting at it's like these are third-party devs that develop for Xbox and Sony. So this is kind of showing, hopefully, that Nintendo fully intends to have actual third-party support on the Switch, which is huge.
Well, going along with my they knocked it out of the ballpark theory, they understood third-party support is something they need to have a successful platform, specifically for a wider audience that they want. It's not just about making very casual, inclusive party games for everyone's moms and younger siblings. It's third-party development, third-party support.
Seriously,
you forgot to mention the most important publisher, though, which is that Konami is actually going to be developing for the Metal Gear Survive. Will be coming to the Switch.
I haven't heard of this dev Konami.
It's not confirmed, but I'm just saying. I mean, Metal Gear Survive, it'll actually be an exclusive on the Switch, and that's what will actually bankrupt Nintendo. Okay, and I'm just talking out my ass. But yeah, I was shocked to see Konami, like, oh, they still have the gall to put themselves among a name of other publishers. Like, I don't even like EA or Ubisoft, but just seeing Konami with them, even that was disgusting. I'm like, how the fuck? You would think even EA or Ubisoft would be like, hey, Konami, why don't you go, ruin a couple another 50 franchises and make a couple new pachinko machines and go fuck yourselves.
And exclusively on the Nintendo Switch, Konami brings you Pachinko Simulator.
At least our shitty games are making some people happy. Konami makes no one happy.
I have to say, like, the only thing this commercial was missing was a Metroid game.
Yeah.
If at the end it showed like Samus, just like all it had to do was like have the like a panning shot of Samus's character, and I probably would have just jerked off right then and there.
There was a rumor saying that there was going to be 20 launch titles. There's a rumor. In this trailer, they showed the new Zelda. The new Mario was like the only new thing and first party exclusive likely. They showed the new Zelda. They showed Skyrim. They showed Mario Kart, which was actually a really great way to show how the multiplayer like on the go would work. That's such a cool thing. Just taking the tablet with you. The controllers, yeah, they're small. I'm a little skeptical about that, but just seeing you be able to pull out two controllers, hand one to your friend as you're just walking around in like a public area or something. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, and then like a stranger can come up and be like, "Oh, can I get into this?" And then he grabs the controller and runs off. And then you have to go and buy a new controller from Nintendo. They're on this. They know what's up. What
did you think about? Well, I'm sure you're as skeptical as me about the detachable controllers that you like play for like Mario Kart and stuff. But what did you think of the new controller, like the actual controller, the gamepad?
Battery life is something that's really going to be weird with this because the tablet's going to have its own battery life, and then the controller's going to have its own battery life. So then when I plug the controller back into the tablet, does the controller start recharging? And like that's kind of what I'm worried about. Like, I get the feeling something's going to have shitty battery life. This is a hunch with this.
I noticed it looked a lot like an Xbox controller, just with the button lettering of Nintendo's typical things, where the X and the Y and the B and the A are reversed.
Right.
But I think I didn't. I was thinking this when you brought up the Splatoon thing. I joked before about hardcore esports Splatoon players, and that's how they ended the the announcement with.
I'll get on that stuff later, but
yeah.
As for the controller itself, it's like PlayStation 4 controller and the current Xbox One controller are fucking. They're like some of the best controllers, and the Wii U Pro controller is a really good controller too. So hopefully they're smart enough to make this controller comfortable, because that's like all their competitors right now have really nice controllers.
The Pro controller for the Wii U is pretty good, but it does feel a little cheap. So I'm just hoping the next one will have a little more weight to it, I guess. Just feel sturdier. That's I guess what I would ask.
I get exactly what you mean. Hold on, somebody's calling me. Hello? Time to interrupt this podcast with amazing news.
Is this about your car?
Yeah, the other party was found at fault. I'm just going to jerk off.
Sweet!
I'm just going to jerk off really slowly. Oh.
Woo!
Oh, God. All right,
I'm sure he's just tapping his cheek, everybody.
You have no idea. This previous weekend, I was so fucking stressed out with dealing with this shit.
I noticed.
It feels good to be not losing my goddamn mind. Anyway, God, we were talking about the Switch. We were talking about the controller. When you talk about the stability of the controller and you hope it's more stable, that's something I'm kind of concerned about too, is the overall sturdiness of the structure. If it's going to be a mobile device that's also supposed to be my at-home console, I really hope that the entire construction feels really stable, feels really strong, like it won't fall apart, like it won't break easily, like an iPod does. Tablets get dropped all the fucking time. I drop my DS all the fucking time. The paint on my 3DS has chipped a little bit, but it still runs fine. So I really kind of hope the Switch holds up in that regard as well.
Some of the worries I have about this thing, obviously there's the performance thing. Now, in the trailer, the first game they showed was Zelda, and when they showed the guy take the thing on him with the go, it looked like Zelda was running at like 15 frames per second. And obviously the game is still in development, so one can hope maybe this is just that's just as is. Granted, the gimmick of being able to play console games on the go is a pretty good deal, even if it runs not that great. But I would really hope that they don't run like complete and utter shit and therefore completely negating the usefulness of playing games like that on the go. But it
I have
looked
a
like
feeling some games are going to be like that.
Yeah.
I hope the majority of games are not.
It looked like Mario Kart ran fine, but it could all just be fake. So to quote NVIDIA about the NVIDIA Tegra processor, the development encompassed 500 man-years of effort across every facet of creating a new gaming platform: algorithms, computer architecture, system design, system software, APIs, game engines, and peripherals, NVIDIA said. They all had to be rethought and redesigned for Nintendo to deliver the best experience for gamers, whether they're in the living room or on the move. NVIDIA used similar technology in their NVIDIA Shield, which eventually experienced a drought in support and was discontinued. So that's cool. It seems like NVIDIA's bringing their A game. It seems like Nintendo's bringing their A game. It seems like third party is probably going to bring their A game. There's a lot of eggs going into this basket, and it's really exciting.
After like the lukewarm mediocrity of the GameCube, and I'm not saying the GameCube was a bad console, I'm just saying its overall performance compared to the other consoles at the time.
Yeah.
And then the resounding success of the Wii into the really fucking shit performance of the Wii U. It seems like, fingers crossed, Nintendo's kind of finally learning the lesson. But I feel like we've said that a lot before in the past. This is just one of those things that we have to really like wait and see. Is this one of those good Nintendo things, or is this one of those bad Nintendo things? So.
I think it's, like I said, it's going to be a success. I can almost guarantee it. It's just when it's a success, are they going to pull a Wii?
Take it for granted.
Yeah, and just not support it as well as they should. Yeah, it just seems like it's the first console since probably the GameCube where the gimmick isn't how you play the game, or like it is how you play the game, but it's not how you control the game. The gimmick is accessibility and being able to play,
and that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's about being able to play the games you already love, that everybody already loves, just in easier, more convenient, more comfortable ways, and be able to play with your friends easier.
Because like right now, if I have a PlayStation 4, an Xbox One, or a PC game that's couch co-op, and I own it and it's at my house, you have to come to my house to play it. But if I buy the Switch and I have a couch co-op game that's amazing, I can go to your place and we can play it way easier than we can with the other consoles.
Yeah, the console itself is like a controller. So even if the two detachable controllers don't really serve much purpose on their own, chances are everyone's going to have one of these things. So there's going to be no shortage of controllers. Everyone will just have one. That seems like probably the idea Nintendo had with how popular this thing could be. Everyone will be doing it. Everyone will want to play with each other. It'll probably have the impact of a smartphone, but as a dedicated gaming device, which is awesome. Or, a tablet. So that brings me into a lot of the questions I have in that regard. I just thought of a new question, which is this thing going to have a lot of third-party app support like a tablet would? Is it going to be like a tablet? Is it going to have an OS? Is it going to have an app store? Or is it going to be strictly for gaming? On that regard, what's the virtual store going to be like for the games? Is it going to have all the Wii U games and 3DS games on their virtual store? Or is it going to be a new system that's going to throw everything out and have to start over again?
And like we've said before in the past, is Nintendo going to actually start doing a good job with the internet, their online eStore stuff, because their eStore in the past has sucked really bad.
And is the damn thing going to be region locked? Because if it is, that might be the biggest speed bump they could put it, making me want to get this thing. Because Reggie said, after all the complaints about the 3DS and the Wii U being region locked, that they would talk about it in the future, and they're aware of how many people are frustrated about it, and they'll try to think of something to fix the problem. So if this thing is region locked, that's going to be like a giant middle finger, but I hope it's not, because I'm tired of playing censored garbage. I'd rather play original Japanese ports with like English subtitles so I can play games like Xenoblade, because I will not pay for censored crap. Nintendo, please, I get you want to save the morality of the children here from big boobs and mean words and stuff like that. At least Treehouse, the translation team, does. Can you at least add an option for adults to be able to play the games as they come? At least give me that option, and then censor the fuck out of it to everybody who doesn't care. But just be inclusive, right? That's what you want. Inclusivity. Be inclusive to people who don't like censorship. So yeah, region locking. And then the last thing is, what's the price? Because
of course, I know my girlfriend saw this and she's like, we have to get one. And I'm like, no,
I know.
Not until the price.
When I look at this thing, I estimate in my head $400 to $500, but I do remember it might have even been Iwata before he passed away. Somebody said at Hype and Nintendo that this thing is going to be a lot cheaper than everybody thinks, and they're going to probably basically sell it at a loss just to get a foothold in the market, which means it's going to probably do even better than I'm guessing. If this thing is like $300, hell yeah.
If they sell this thing at $300, I will line up to buy this shit in front of GameStop.
If most people factor in, hey, I'm getting a portable and a home console in one, that's
Like I said, I'm willing to spend more on this than I am would be willing to spend on an Xbox One or a PlayStation 4 just for that fact right there. Just for the fact that I don't have to worry about buying a Nintendo 4DS now.
Yeah. I'll say the overwhelming positive response everyone has been giving this thing has been kind of amazing and kind of uplifting. Nintendo had so much negativity surrounding their image until the announcement of the thing, and I know there were some people who don't like it. They all seem to hate the fact that it's just not a more powerful PS4. Basically, that it's not just a dedicated PC device like the other consoles. That's what a small number of people wanted this thing to be. And I guess I understand the desire for that, but I think those people just need to wake up and realize Nintendo would not be able to last very long if they did that. That's not what they're known for. That's not what they're good at. That's not what they excel as a company at. And this is just fitting for them. And it's probably the best case scenario for everybody who likes good games. And yeah, I hope it performs well. I hope it doesn't run everything at 50 frames per second when you detach the thing.
Yeah, the 15 FPS thing would be a complete instant killer. Like,
yeah.
The
only thing I can think of that might do them harm in the long run is if 4K really picks up and this thing doesn't have any sort of upscaling option. I have to wonder, maybe Nintendo will do the same thing as Sony and Microsoft, which is release a model that just supports 4K, but that's it. It's not like a more powerful device. Maybe they'll release an add-on to the fucking thing that upscales to 4K. I'd be okay with that. I think 4K TVs are really fucking beautiful. I'd love to have one someday, but I don't have any devices that support it, and the price of getting a new 4K TV and a device that support it is way too fucking much right now. So I don't think it's that big of a concern, but a few years from now, it might be something that hurts Nintendo the same way how the Wii was only standard definition.
But by then, they'd already have enough market penetration that hopefully it wouldn't matter in the long run.
Yeah, and since it's half portable, it might not be that big of a deal. I gotta wonder, will more people use it as a home console or a portable? Like, do you think there's one side of its use that will get more...
As long as the battery life doesn't suck, I see myself using it as a portable more. Maybe for certain games that I want the bigger HUD and everything, I'd have it on the TV. But I really just enjoy being able to lay in bed and play something comfortably, or sit on the couch and kick up my feet, or just take a shit and play my game. These are really important things for me. So
I'm wondering if Nintendo will be able to do what Sony failed at when they made the PSP. And I know the PSP had a lot of great games, and a lot of people love the PSP, but I feel like the reason the PSP never did as well as the DS, when the PSP came out, most of the games prioritized visuals over ease of play. Long load times and stuff is kind of what killed the portable compared to the DS. It tried too hard to just be a portable PlayStation instead of a good portable. So I got to wonder if Nintendo is going to fall into that same trap, where they're going to manage to design games in such a way where it's good on the go.
Yeah, that is a good point. Load times on a home console, they suck, but they're not game ending necessarily, unless they're really bad. But I feel like on a handheld, bad load times would be way more offensive.
I think that might be everything I have to say on this thing so far, other than they finally showed it. We can see it for ourselves, and now we just wait for the details to come out and potentially either kill our interest in it or just make us more excited.
All right, now that we got the seriousness out of the way, I have some complaints to do about the marketing really quick.
Okay.
3 specifically come to mind. First off, no, you will not meet a hot chick just because you brought the Nintendo Switch to the airport. That's not how life works.
Okay, well, wait, hold on. You will meet a chick, but she'll have dyed hair, and will probably call you a rapist if you try to talk to her.
Or she'll have a boyfriend.
Or 10 guys already following her.
Then she'll say something really dumb like, you like Metroid? You're such a nerd. Number 2. Nobody would stop playing actual real-life basketball with their friends to sit down on a picnic table and play fake pretend video game basketball. Nobody. At least nobody that's in shape. I would, because I'd be fat, overweight, and wheezing, but I wouldn't be at a basketball court in the first place.
I was going to say, they were taking a break. They were tired. They wanted to fantasize as their role models.
And thirdly, Splatoon will never be esports. Nintendo will never be esports. Shut the fuck up and accept it.
Well, they could try, and it'll just, who the fuck would care and why?
And if it was an esports event, you wouldn't bring your own fucking Switch. They would provide Switches for you.
Well, if Mario Kart goes esports, I'm going to encourage Kyle to do it because he's really good at that game.
I fucking hate Kyle at that game.
Can you imagine the Super Smash Brothers competitive mindset being applied to every Nintendo game, where they just shave? Imagine a competitive Mario Kart where they take out almost all the items. That you can only be on 2 racetracks, and you can only use 3 of the characters or just one character. Everyone has to be Mario. horrendous.
Oh my god, you're Bowser. What the fuck? Way to play an OP character.
At least when they showed Splatoon in like a tournament setting, it looked like fun and lively. As long as they bring that part to esports, I'll be fine with them trying. Just please don't make Splatoon a fucking dude bro douchebag fest, because the fucking game is just meant to be flashy and fun for kids and happiness and those kind of things. And esports takes away happiness and makes things redundant and boring and annoying and douchebaggy.
If Nintendo could somehow figure out how to target esports to smaller kids than the kids that already pay attention to esports, that would be smart and kind of impressive marketing on their part.
Well, there's already like Pokemon tournaments and stuff.
Yeah, that's overrun by like 35-year-old autistics that EV train their goddamn Pokemon and breed for hours to get a. Do you not realize how overly complex Pokemon is? Pokemon is ridiculously complex. There is no way children. It is ridiculous. Between IVs, EVs, fucking natures, hidden traits, it is ridiculous.
I've seen kids who play it, and then would it be funny if Nintendo like enacted a no over 16-year-old policy, and then everyone got fucking furious?
If they did that, all that would happen is that the no-lifers that happen to have kids would start making their kids do it for them.
Yeah, I know.
And live vicariously through them. And then they'd be like, Dad, I don't want to play video games. I want to go outside and play football with Jimmy.
I can already imagine a script in my head of like a Rocky-like movie where the father is like forcing the son to get good at Pokemon, but the son doesn't want to play Pokemon, but he still wants to make his father happy, and there's like drama. And then the father secretly like lost hard at some finals at the last Pokemon tournament he ever went to, and always regretted it throughout his life, and then tried to force that to his son. And then they bond, and then the movie ends on a really happy note where like the kid makes it to the final round but walks away or something at the end, like at the end of Rocky. I'm looking forward to seeing what other first-party titles they announce with this thing. Obviously, yeah, Metroid. I'd like to see F-Zero, but I really want to see more about this Mario game, because if it's just more Mario 3D World, just with a different perspective or a different gimmick, okay, I guess, because the game was already great. But I would love to see a follow-up to Mario Galaxy, or if it's like a direct sequel to Super Mario 64, which might be my favorite game of all time. If StarCraft 2 didn't scar me and not want to say StarCraft Brood War is my favorite game of all time, it would be Mario 64. And a sequel to that, oh my god, my dick would go through the fucking ceiling.
I'd laugh if they made a sequel to Super Mario 64 and they just called it Super Mario 65.
Though I always expected it to be called Mario 128, because there actually was a prototype for the GameCube, I think, called Super Mario 128, which was just 128 Marios running around an arena or something. And originally it was like conceived to be an actual game where you're controlling 128 Marios at once in like a platforming thing. But then I don't know what happened to that. Eventually Mario Sunshine became a thing. There's always like a tech demo or something referencing it. But yeah,
I think enough time has passed that they could actually release that as an actual title, and it'd be funny enough. Yeah. No, if Shigeru Miyamoto was to hands down just make Mario 64 with modern technology, well, not like a remake, but, a game that plays almost like it with some new things. And yeah, there's nostalgia for that. That game is loved a lot more than most people would think. It'd actually be kind of smart for Nintendo to do, is because there was a lot of people who first got into Nintendo games back in the 64 era. If they just started doing like direct sequels to the shit that was coming out, like they could make a Star Fox 64 sequel that played a lot like Star Fox 64 and give it like a low number, something that shows it's going back to its roots. Get rid of Crystal and all. Oh, yeah, I'd love it if they did that, and it was good. But no, I mean, they did New Super Mario Brothers, and then they did Mario 3D Land, where they kind of made it 3D. So I guess like the next step is to just go back to making full-blown 3D worlds. And I know there's a lot of Mario elitists, yes, those are a thing, who think that Mario should only be point A to B platforming, no exploration, no collectathon-y stuff. And my response to that is, fuck all of you. I love collectathons. I love collectathons. You know what? I like collectathons. I can't believe collectathons have like this negative connotation. I liked collectathons when I was a kid. I still do. They're fun. Collecting shiny things is fun. We went over this. I am stupid, and I'm okay with that. And I like picking up shiny things and watching a number go up. Super Mario 64 is a ton of fun, so... Yes, it is. The basic setup where you play on these small but compact stages that have a lot of stuff in them is great. And we're very artistically well designed for that technology. And still hold up. All right, I'm getting vindictive. All right. To end this. So if you've listened to this podcast or any of our podcasts, sincerely, thank you for listening. You can find this podcast on explosionofhappiness.com. Also look out for us on iTunes and YouTube. And if you like our podcast, please leave a comment. Tell us how much you love us. And if you hate this podcast, please leave a comment. Tell us how much you hate us. We are desperate attention whores, and we seek both positive and negative reinforcement.
Actually, the opposite is true. I hope I don't get comments. That way I can keep infatuating myself and telling myself that I'm great. And then the day I actually get a comment saying Ryan needs to shut the fuck up, he's retarded, is the day my feelings will get hurt, and then I won't want to do this anymore.
Wait, hold on. I need to make a fake account really quick. Until next week, goodbye.
Bye-bye. Was that the dog?
No, that was my stomach.
Okay, I thought it was a stomach, but I thought it might be a dog howling in the background.
Thank you for pointing it out, though.
Yeah. Were you about to, like, cough up your lung?
Yes, I
Yeah.
am. Hold on a second. I'm back.
Dude, even when you turn it off, I can still hear you coughing.
How?
I don't know. Apparently, the microphone probably just blocked something, but you coughed so loud it still made its way into some part of the recording device. That was impressive. I really wish that the dog would come up on the mic better.
Yeah.
It makes me happy hearing it snore. Okay, well, I'm ready.
Here, let me see if I can at least get it. I'm going to take the mic cover off. Maybe that will help a little bit. God, this is on there pretty good. There we go. Okay, mic cover's off.
And my ears are dead.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, you can cut that part out. All right, everybody.
No.
This is so. A lot of you know me and Ryan. We're the voices of the show, but we have a third cast member. Her name's Pepper, and she does a lot of work. And this is she wants to say something, and this is what she does for us every week. Did you hear that?
Sweet Jesus, yeah.
That helped taking off the mic cover.
It sounds like a lawnmower. I think I said that in a previous podcast. It's like a lawnmower failing to start, but
hold on, let me get the windscreen back on.
Yeah. You became way louder when you took that thing off. Oh, yeah. Jesus Christ.
It's back on now, so.
Okay. Hold on. Let me try. Let's see what I sound like when I take mine off. I don't want to have to put this thing back on, but all right. Hello.
Oh, wow.
How are you? Yeah, see, I told you.
Not only are you way louder, like, oh, God, you pick up a lot more. So with the on, you sound bassier. That's weird.
Okay, so, I was about to spank my meat and ask you what you hear, but I'm not. I had just enough of a compulsory reaction in my nervous system to say, don't do that. Jesus Christ. Like, you still have a little bit dignity left. I'll do that in like a year from now. Or a month. Or 2 months.
That's what we're doing on our 100th episode is we'll be live streaming our 100th episode completely in the naked as we slap our dicks against mics. What's it sound like?